There are two bolts that hold the starter onto the engine block, and what I had to do was take those two bolts completely out. Then there's a third bolt on the back side that slides out of a bracket. Once you slide that out of the bracket, you can drop the starter down enough to disconnect the wires off the solenoid. It's a tight fit, but it can be done. I realize this is not a very good video. Do the best I can, but you can get the starter between the cooling lines and the exhaust manifold. It's tight, but you can do it. What I did was I just loosened up the two bolts that hold the starter onto the engine block, and I rotated the starter down so that I could loosen up the two, take the wires off, disconnect the wires. It's hard to get a wrench on the bolt to get the wires loose unless you tilt it a little bit and drop it down. And once you get the wires loose, it will drop down between these cooling lines and the exhaust manifold, and then you can get the new starter up in there. Put the wires back on before you put the starter on though, because that's very tight. It's a very tight fit. And you also have to take this heat shield off this sensor that's behind the starter there. Once you do that, you will have room to take the starter off